So very warm welcome to Ajay. Hi Ajay.
Yeah, hi, thanks for the opportunity to speak.
So this is Ajay Awale here. New season in the winter season, I would call it, Fireside Chat Series. And we always promise that we will not only get the supply side, we'll also get the demand side, as I like to call it. Although I call it a marketplace of knowledge where, solution providers should meet solution users. So this is my foray, and I'm so glad, I'm so proud that Ajay Awale, a very dynamic CIO of today's age, has joined us as the first speaker as the CIO. Did you know that Ajay, you're my first CIO on this session?
Oh, really?
Yes. I've
It's
lined up
good.
others, but I chose you because you're very young, dynamic, and I see. Let me tell. I just saw your profile, and I was seeing how you grew. It's been 20 years, and I realized you started as an apprentice, in a media company, moving to becoming an engineer and then an IT head. And today, a CIO, I think the list of awards, I think the Digital Ambassador Award for Manufacturing IT, the Revolutionizing Ecom and Retail with AI Award. At Aquapharm, you've got some awards, the Legend Award in the Global CIO Forum, and the Cyber Awareness Plan of the Year Award. So, amazing. Tell me what made you a CIO? What is that story behind, that came out and you became such a successful CIO?
Yeah, some people are, I would say fortunate actually. So, where they work in the area. Say, I was, good enough to handle the IT as an infrastructure initially. So, after my education, I was quite keen to work in IT sector, in fact. But it was not known. So, a lot of C language, C hash. Hash was not there, but yeah, the other languages actually I was fascinated. So,
Okay.
but instead of that, I started working in the infrastructure hardware sector because the processing, the RAM, the motherboard, the hard disk, these devices, attracted actually. So I started assembling, and then it's your self-learning. That's how you went on. And then further, I decided to do a job in this area. So, earlier my media company experience, I was working with a small company like this only, which was into an education and all. So that's how the interest got developed, and you see your path since then. It's joined. Unfortunately, the first break as an MNC I got, which was a sole responsibility was there for the IT, and that's my I can say the key to walk on the road. So that's why I said. Some people are lucky when they get the opportunity in the early age to work in all the areas of IT, and I'm that lucky person to got that opportunity to work in all the areas.
How you start in FMCG from the root. So in IT, you have worked everywhere in the landscape, and that's how today I saw you working on equal ease with CISO circle to the CIO circle. So yeah, that's because of your root, which has gone so strong, making you work through hardware to software.
True.
That be true?
Yeah, because see, if you see 22 years experience, we are who are these CIOs. We are from the era of ISDN lines, wherein 64 kbps was the highest speed, and then we combined 128, 512, and then achieve the best transactions from any system to system on the internet. So to compile the ERP systems, their integrations and all, and that gives you some learnings which you never forget, in fact, in your life. And that's how it is going. Today, I think, when you see automation, I think a lot of ready things are available. You have to just pick, choose, and then apply.
True.
That's the only, digitalization need is there. Right. Nobody is into core programming.
No, but I'll tell you, life is a full circle. If you did Linux then, today when you sit to do your VM, virtualization, the language is very close to Linux again. So it is a whole circle. It's no leaving. Yeah. The old fashion comes back, right? Same thing with this.
Has to be continued.
True. Right. So Ajay, for the context of this interview or this fireside chat, like I call it, Because manufacturing is going to be a strong focus for Technavik this next 3 to 6 months, where we are talking to a lot of CIOs within this industry with the extra focus on Pune and Maharashtra possibly, because we have a bigger report also coming up. So just to set the agenda and the agenda of this interview, I just wanted to ask you, how would you define the digital landscape of a manufacturing company today? Vis-a-vis, I have worked with retail, I have worked with, IT companies for that matter, but what demarcates or what are the essential components of this landscape that you must consider?
See, manufacturing differs actually because your user set is different here. When you see sector by sector who are the customers of IT, then in manufacturing, the customer set is different. So in retail, in IT development, those users are different. Their skill sets are different. So when you really look into manufacturing, then these are majorly mechanical people, okay?
Right.
Or you can say oriented towards the product, and these are product featured people, for example.
Right.
And IT is a little bit far from their knowledge, I would say. And to implement IT systems in such environment, it's first of all, a difficult job from the people perspective.
Right.
Technology comes later. The change management into their own processes, which are manual processes, of course. I mean, industry started with the manual processes, then in computer era, they utilize the systems, or you can say the automation came into picture. But that legacy, is still there with the blue collar, white collar, whatever. And when you say manufacturing, then plant is the heart.
Yes.
So for any product, the production area is your heart. And if you see today, the plants, they are not only manufacturing plants, but their offices or their processes itself is getting, executed there. And you'll find the mixed set of people working in the plant. One is white collar, one is blue collar.
Yes.
In the white collar also, you will find people who are the leaders or the managers who manages the things and uses different systems.
So moving it parallelly, analogous to the IT systems, what would be core to a manufacturing? The center is the production system, the manufacturing setup, the CNGs and all. Then comes your ERP, which the ERP systems, your robotics, and with 4G transitioning to 5G, how does your entire manufacturing landscape now look like? Potentially may look like in the next 3 to 4 years. What would be the essential software components and the mechanical, the software components supporting this?
Yeah. See, when you consider manufacturing, I think the core manufacturing within the plant will definitely lead with the automation. Automation in the sense, automation in the mechanical processes.
Yes.
If you can take some examples of, the best example is, Tesla. So Tesla auto plant is, completely automized. No human being intervention. I think 1 or 2 operators are operating the entire plant, which is, into 100 acres, whatever.
Yes.
So that is complete automation. But for the other products, is it possible? No, definitely, because human being, their intervention, their act in the entire processes is must. But wherever it is possible, I think people have done the automation in the mechanical area.
Got it.
And how that is possible with analyzing the data and processing the data, introducing some different electronic systems into picture, and then pushing some decision-taking systems there. Which will lead to the complete automation. So that's how that area is there.
Okay.
Out of, if you come out, the core manufacturing plant, then you have the entire plant as a periphery. You have supply chain as a big area wherein, people can work. So when I say supply chain, then material in out, there's storage, then efficiency of the entire area, management of the utilities, electricity, many aspects comes into picture.
Right.
And that is also, biggest area to look into as an efficient output kind of thing. When I say efficient, then of course automation is behind that, which is, so efficiency is the output. So people look for that, time saving, then the impactful transactions within the plant. That's where their KPIs or their objectives.
Yes.
If you see, both the areas are different in nature, but yes, the efforts taken behind those areas quite similar. to automate.
Yes.
That's the key, in fact, for the manufacturing plant.
So,
but the strategies are, not the strategies are taken somewhere in the corporate office by some different leaders,
right?
And those are getting implemented into the remote plants.
So tell me, we had a very interesting pre-conversation before we came down to today's recording. But we were talking about innovation versus the core systems. Benchmarked versus innovation systems. So you talked about the core of production and the manufacturing. You talked about the ancillary part of the services, which brings in supply chain and the top layer, everything. So what is your take on the role of innovation versus being standardized in its types of application? Types of applications.
Correct. When we say standardized, actually, see, a decade back, standardization were different. Today's standardization is different, definitely, because as time passes, you have to upgrade your standards also, your processes also, and on the other hand, technology drives that. So if you see certain compliances of the plant with their own standards, 10 years back were different, and today it's different.
Right.
Based on how the environment, or maybe the entire ecosystem or in the universe is happening. So people has to go with that, and those standards gets changed. And if somebody is not aligned to those changes, then we say they are backward into the industries. And we have certain examples who are not adhering to the trends, or behind the trends, not catching up the current technology, etc. So they are labs. They are out of the competition, for example. So manufacturing, though it is look like a mechanical process, a steady technology, but it's not that. It's not a steady technology. Definitely, high investment with high capitalization leads to the continuous enhancement also, which is not seen normally.
Right.
People have invested a lot into mechanical automation, but they are continuously improving those. Otherwise, a lot of dependency on these systems for production of the different products. There are innovations in the product line also. So for example, one product is there, but after a couple of years, a lot of enhancements are there in the current product. New different products are also involved. How to support those? Behind that, whatever mechanical systems are there, those need to be upgraded. Your standard gates change, then your support system gates change, and that's how innovation happens, in fact, right? So that's the key. We have
when you would choose. So, for example, when you would considering this dynamism that you go under in manufacturing and you need, so your core system you would prefer to be a standard old, well-known, recognized ERP, but you would allow something else on the periphery to add in, like a new analytics software, a new low-code software, or something, a decision support system, or a SCM system. Would you allow that, or how is your choice? Do you stick to the established products, or do you move on for more innovation or more easy citizen development products? How do you go about that decision?
I would say both. I think. Though it's your core system, but core system itself has certain updates, periodic updates.
Yes.
That system itself needs to be grown, and you have to adopt that grown system. Say if you can take a classic example of, say, SAP. So people were using SAP since R3, then some EHP 7 came, ECC 6.0, and today I think it's S4HANA with 2022-23 will now release actually in February somewhere.
Right.
So SAP is into continuous changing mode. A lot of different modules they introduced. They try to capture all the aspects of industries, irrespective of only manufacturing. They try to capture everything, but still each product and each region has their own different processes, which are not possible to cover in one system. Then you need to cover it with the peripheral systems, for example.
Got it.
Or it's not necessary that SAP or one ERP has all the strong arms. For example, it is not made like ERP is not made for sales side. processes. But people still use SAP as a CRM system also, or any other ERP system as a CRM system also. And some people need some specialized CRM softwares because they believe in some enhanced processes, or they need something else actually out of it. Then they choose a different system. In the same fashion, if you go to a different area, say, for example, I would say import and export. Okay, so though ERP is capable to handle all these processes with the standard things and all in place, but if you go with some expert and specialized exim solutions, then you would love to add that on top of your ERP system. So exim solutions is also just one of the example in one area, small area, I would say.
Interesting, very interesting.
There are different areas, and in finance also. It's not only a traditional financial system operations, but people like to do some analytics on top of it. So they ask some different system to do some analytics.
So since we are at the right place, can I ask you any product or solution companies you have found them exemplary in their way they have developed their products here in any of these extracurricular, extra areas that you're saying, where you can go beyond an ERP also?
See, if you see ERP and SAP, I think before Ariba, I think vendor management was not a core area in SAP itself.
Right.
So in my earlier organization, we tried to implement some top-up solutions. Actually, we call it as top-up solutions, external solutions.
Right.
They are developed in SAP only, but yes, they are external, not from the core SAP system.
Okay.
So the entire vendor management happened on that system actually, and which was not a module part of SAP. Then Ariba came into picture, which was core SAP release and all. And then people turned on to Ariba, which was a standard solution used by SAP.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that people have not tried with their own solutions before with the same functionalities. Yes, people have tried, and they're successful also, for example. So in each area, these things are applicable. It's not only just an example of Ariba I have given.
Got it. Now, what I was trying to understand is recently we were in a discussion with few MSMEs, and they were all, everybody could afford a certain level of an ERP, right? So they were like, what should we use and what should we be doing, if somebody gave us an idea. So hence I was asking any recommendations about the ancillary solutions who have been in exemplary well. For example, you mentioned in finance, in exim, in financial analytics, there are solutions or companies who are doing a fabulous job of creating those solutions for other CIOs like you. So I was kind of in the understanding that are there any suggestions that you should look at this company doing so and so? They've done a fine job kind of a thing.
Yeah. So not I don't have the right names or the examples here, but if you see, each company try that. Okay.
Got it.
It's not only one system. People try to adopt the customized solutions wherever it is possible.
Wherever it's possible.
It starts, right from a small Excel program from some vendor, and then utilize that till some software actually, highly investable or capitalized software. Till that, people do the customization here. For example, to manage all these projects also, people go for project management software, irrespective of they are into a manufacturing, but still they want to manage the projects. They go for any project management solution, whether it's Jira or it's Microsoft project solution or something like that. But yeah, customization is needed. It's needed everywhere.
Very true. So yes, so thanks for that. It's a mix of both that you need to apply it every time. So tell me something, when we think about whenever we think about business strategy at large at a company level, most of us think, yes, if you make a HR decision about what to hire, how much to hire, where to hire from, is always aligned to your business goals. Tell me a little example about how even IT should be aligned, right? IT today, I feel, can make a break organization. It has that much potential. So can you give me an example about how your goals in IT are today aligned to a business strategy, and how some examples of those? The strategy gets aligned because of you. Either ways, yeah.
Correct. I think now I think the era has changed definitely. I have seen this change since last more than 5-6 years, actually not now.
Yes.
I have personally, experienced this change. Now, whoever, I mean, it's not only IT, but the enabler functions. These are, these are the people who wait for the business strategies, and then they decide their own strategies. So, for example, IT, today it is called as digital. Actually, many manufacturing companies are calling it as a digital function. It's no more IT as an information technology as a big function, and slowly I think it will change. So entirely it will be a digital function. MNCs have already started, Indian companies will start. So their strategies depends on what company goals are, first of all. And when we say company goals, it starts from their growth. I mean, what growth is mapped by the stakeholders or investors, what they need, and based on to their vision, the entire functions, maybe sales or supply chain or manufacturing, whatever productions, they are aligned to that growth. And in the end, I think the enabled functions comes into picture, and they think how to support these functions to achieve their goals, or how to support to realize these kind of strategies. And IT definitely plays a vital role today, because it's a digital thing. And when you say a growth, then digital is must. Without digital, there is no growth, as I can strongly say that today, because systems give you breadth of some automation. In manufacturing sector, people call it as a miracle, and these miracles are important because it saves your time, it saves your money, and that's where you come to in the end.
Like I was going to ask you, since you call it a miracle, I don't think you have to prove it to anybody, but you are a CIO of a 40-year-old company doing, thing. Was it difficult for you to make your management or your team get convinced about a miracle, or, how did you go about implementing your various IT solutions? How difficult is it in an organizational thought process?
Yeah, and it's difficult. I mean, it's not only me, but people like me, when they come to a sector like chemical or maybe pharma, I would say, these are similar sectors wherein business people are different minded. I mean, these are core business people, and they know to invest and to get out some ROI out of it. Out of that, normally they don't think. But I'm fortunate that Aquapharm has the stakeholders who really keen to know the technology and all. When I joined this organization, I think company was at certain level of automation, but COVID came into picture, and then a lot of lessons companies learned. Similarly, Aquapharm also learned many lessons, and due to those lessons, I think today the priority to digital or IT, I would say, is on the topmost priority.
Great.
And when you have a topmost priority, then you have your value to your words. Being a CIO or head of IT, whatever you say, it gets listened. At least I would say.
Right.
And then if it is feasible, then gets realized. So that's how my journey is into Aquapharm. And fortunately, many changes have been done since last 3-4 years based on the current trends. Because I follow normally trends. I mean, say for example, I study Gartner, I study different strategists, and then take the own decision, and then see the case studies also. If somebody is into that, and you study that, and then you implement simply.
Wonderful.
So that's how it goes.
That's how it goes. Do you often take numbers along with it? Like, do you have to, I mean, even for your own evaluation, do you always measure that, okay, if this is what I do, you have to always get an Excel sheet to prove to yourself or to your team that this is the investment we need to do, and how easy it is, all these solutions and coming in so many types. Are you able to make that metrics? Are you able to calculate easily, or is it tough?
No, we calculate. See, prior to enter into that area, a rough estimation of the outcome is always there. You see some rays of getting some at least recognition or some benefit to the organization, you don't enter into it. When you enter, then you have to calculate slowly.
Is it normally an internal activity calculating, or do your solution providers, come back with you, work with you to be able to calculate that ROI expected?
No, I think the external vendors plays a vital role into it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you are not a person who knows everything, and the vendors who they are your guide. They are your you can say mentors actually, because they know the market, they know the facts in the
other use cases
areas, and they have use cases also. They have solutions also.
Right.
So a lot of learnings from them, irrespective of project goes or project gets off or on. I think meeting with them is a knowledge sharing always, and then if you find a good ROI out of it, if you think that it will get realized also, then you start calculating. Okay, once you are okay with your calculations, then you present to the management. If management gets convinced along with the vendor itself, because it's not only CR is telling to stakeholders that we should go or we should do this and that, but when you give the use cases along with the vendor, it makes some different impact, and then you internally have to sell this technology.
So from here, if you would like to mention one very recent successful digital initiative that you could do, and so anything you want to particularly name, any particular which had wings and it really gave out the right.
Yeah, I have number of actually, but a simple thing is enhancement of your SAP system itself. It's a very basic thing. We were using ECC since 10-12 years, and ECC support is now ending in 26 somewhere. Okay.
Yes.
So it's a good time to upgrade the system to a new level. Either you think of a ERP system, a different ERP system, or if you want with the same system, then upgrade it simply.
Right.
So either of these two options, kept in front of management, because we have to catch the trend. So we have to go along with the automation into all areas. So all these things we put in front of stakeholders, and they agreed to upgrade the system. So
you're already on your upgrade journey? You're already on your upgrade?
No, we did that.
One.
Last year we completed also.
Great.
So that's how.
So while I asked one of your successful, can I ask you something that what is one mistake in your whole career as a CIO you did, and you would suggest how could you have avoided it as general rule for helping out others?
Okay. So say for example, when you think some system to a function, then I think you have to really check the DNA of that function, and then you think of any system. Okay. So for any leader or any functional leader, respective company leader, whoever, they have to really go into the employee DNA. Okay, because people, many people, they like the system. Okay, but they like the system, they don't like to implement it within their own function. So a good example is any sales function in any manufacturing company don't like any system. Okay. Any purchase system or purchase function in any manufacturing system don't like any system.
Really? Even purchase?
Yeah, even purchase.
Sales by creative guys, so that is why.
No. See, they want to play on the phone simply. Just talk to the vendor or talk to the customer, decide the things, and then ask production whoever to execute the things simply. So that simplicity they want actually. But of course, I mean that's your way to work. Which is not sustainable, because without data, without the documentation, I mean your future strategies cannot be built. Because when you talk about sales function, then each and every discussions happened with the customer has to be recorded somewhere, or your visits and many things associated with the customer has to have some records. It cannot be like I talked with him and he said this.
True.
That shouldn't happen. So that's how you have to kill that instinct first, and once you do that, then definitely you win the battle 50%. So rest is all technology to implement. So that challenge is there, and if you asked about, so I have failed a couple of times in this area, specific to without checking the DNA as I said, without checking the legacy systems, the behavior, and not taken their agreement, just considering or granting them as they will be with the change management, implemented the technology solutions, but it failed in the end.
So going ahead, how do you now implement it? Do you like bring in business, a varied group of business users together, kind of get a buy-in from them, or what do you do differently now? To not have this situation.
So it should be a step-by-step approach. Actually, you cannot ask them to change from 0 to 1. And it has to be 1.1, 1.2, 1.7. Then you achieve 1. That's how you have to go for. You have to give some time into these things. So, for example, it's a preparation time, I would say, for any change. And this preparation time, you can decide. And within that preparation time, you have to separate people management project actually to make them aware of the systems. And then start doing that awareness. So, for example, start with Excel. Ask them to at least do some data management into Excel. Send it to this XYZ email address. Then we will compile that data. So they will be interested into generating some Excel and give, or at least send some email. Not Excel. We can compile the emails also manually.
Right.
And then showing them the results out of it.
So you're modifying the DNA, is it? You're modifying the DNA slowly and steadily.
You have to show some small results and then gradually grow on that and then enter into a big change, which is a system change, for example.
Wonderful.
Gradually grow on that and then enter into a big change, which is a system change, for example.
Wonderful. Yes. So from here, I think I would like to move to your ideas about how do you implement your security strategy. When you say about data privacy, your cybersecurity measures, your supply chain security measures, and maybe the next, which is the Privacy Act, whatever, how do you plan your security strategy?
Okay, so when you say automation or systems, I think security is always there as your shadow, because and that shadow has to be carried. If there is no shadow, then you are not live. It's like that. And this security shadow, you have to design well. When you say a cyber security, it's not only related to internet or accessing some sites, your websites, your ERP system and all. You have to think from the scratch itself, because in plant, a lot of automation systems are there, and these systems work with the connectivity. For example, fiber connectivity, the ports, the controllers, the PLCs, they have their own programs, and some systems need some internet connection also. Okay, and once that outbreak is there, then you have to take care of that outbreak, because in today's era, it's not only about your computers or your Wi-Fi systems or servers. The entrance of the hacking systems can happen from anywhere. Okay, through your cell phones also, through your plant systems also, and traditionally from your data center also.
Okay.
So all these aspects needs to be taken care in a manufacturing company, and people are not keen on this today also. If you ask any manufacturing company CIOs or leaders, so what areas they take care of, they will give you 4 or 5 names. But in my opinion, there is no number. It's unlimited. You ask for the thing, you have to take care of it. Simply, it may be a physical security, IT security, whatever. You have to have some systems in place. What could be the best area into it? So instead of taking that responsibility, you can pass it on this responsibility to the OEM. Okay. That could be the right area. The classic example is ERP system, SAP. Now traditionally ERP system, which is SAP, is your in-house system always. Till today also people have SAP ECC system, or today S4HANA also. They have their system in their data center, their own data center.
Right.
When it is there, they have to take care of many things. They have to take care of its all networking, its patches, its voice support, and a number of things, how people are accessing it. And today, due to COVID, as I said, I think remote access and everything has increased.
Right.
So many firewall, many things need to get taken from the in-house people itself. Right. That's how CISO comes into picture. Okay, so CISO has got weightage because of these kind of areas to look into.
Right.
So instead of that, if you go for the OEM provided tools, a good concept like Rise with SAP. So what is Rise with SAP? I mean, SAP have their own cloud, they have their own system. You have to just subscribe that and use it. Okay. So if you adopt that solution, then you are away from everything. You are away from the data management. You are away from the security patches. You are away from your firewall, your accesses, everything. You have to just manage your internet connection with some security and access your data with your right governance of user credentials. So that's how you go about or think about. And it's not only manufacturing companies or the clients actually like us, the companies. Now the solution makers are coming up with the cloud solutions itself.
Yes.
They also want the cloud solutions to be delivered to the customers, not the on-premises solutions.
Okay.
So if you see 10 years back, the on-premises solution ratio to the cloud ratio, and today's on-premises to the cloud ratio, you will find a drastic 90-degree change there.
Yes.
So 20-80, 80-20 kind of thing.
Yes.
And this will grow. I
mean, so Ajay, a very curious point here. Some years back, even the manufacturing would be saying that, we still don't want to move to the cloud. Now, are you indicating that because of the complexity and the layers of security vulnerability that we have to take care of, companies are now choosing the cloud rather?
Definitely, because there is a big change in the cloud management itself. Okay. When you manage your own data center, then you have to have your own skill set. You have to invest into your own data center, like modern servers, then the connectivity, etc. But in cloud, you're getting that as a ready-made thing. You have to just subscribe it, use it, and pay for that, whatever you use actually. Instead of it's like having a big vehicle at your parking.
I was always wondering security was a hindrance, but the same security is now the reason why people will like to move on cloud. That's a very interesting thought.
Totally.
Amazing.
And the standards which maintained by these big cloud players, it's not possible to maintain that in-house actually. And that's how. And they have a big
any other vulnerability now that you might have an SAP which has SAP Rise and SAP on HANA which is cloud, but then you still will have other software which also will be on the cloud. So now the only place you're exposed is the interoperability between these systems. So,
correct.
So how do you manage that vulnerable part?
I think different systems, like as I said, OEM systems. So Salesforce or maybe SAP, they are on cloud today.
Yes.
Or maybe your any analytical software is there, which is also on cloud.
Yes.
So a lot of integration systems are there, and these OEMs, they are coming up with their own connectors also.
Yes,
and these are quite secured connectors. So they establish an encrypted channel among all these systems, and the vendors like system integrators, they support into it. It's quite easy. I mean, it's earlier days integration was
So now tell me, which is your biggest challenge? Life of a CIO CISO now seems simpler, with the OEMs taking up. So where is your life? Where is your challenge today?
So challenge is of course integrating the system is your one challenge, because traditionally, or your legacy data structure, and then maintaining those processes, making those changes, and then getting integrated the systems and making it towards the output, the ROI output.
Yes.
That's the biggest challenge. And I would say still in this era also, I give 50% challenge towards the people management itself.
Yes.
The technology is easy. Technology gives you either 1 or 0, but people, they're weird. But they will give you 0, 1, 2, 3, any digital number. So that area is quite different.
Very true. Coming after COVID, all of us are we see difference there also. Now tell me one more thing then. In this, one concern is, yes, all your OEM backed products, they're working on a huge scale. So do you mean to say, what about the smaller solutions? What about the innovation that smaller solutions bring in? How will they sustain if, where is a place for them now?
No, they have. See, I mean, for any company, the systems are not, all systems are not on priority 1 level, first of all. There are top systems which are your P1, then you have P2 and P3 systems in place.
Yes.
So I would say digital leaders should think P1 always on the OEM bucket, simply. Because if you adopt that strategy, I think you make your life easy. CIO, your life easy, and then it's not your only, but it's a company's life easy, I would say, because all your compliances are getting maintained, your cyber security is getting maintained, your audit trails are getting maintained, and then you have to just simply manage that, and manage with the partner. So that's how the P1 systems are taken care. Your P2 systems are normally some department oriented or some functional oriented. Some middle management level systems are there. You have some hybrid systems introduced into that area. You may partially go with some big cloud like public cloud, or you have an option of the private cloud also. You can adopt those things for your P2 things, because that's where the priority 2 comes. You have a breathing space to manage that, and you can do it. Yes. When it's a P3, then it's your really a play area, okay? And every company has to have that play area, because that's your innovation, in fact.
Right.
And you have to innovate the things continuously before taking it to P1 or P2. P3 level has to be achieved. It may be your in-house data center, or it may be a local cloud player,
right,
who is a private cloud player. Test your things as a lab. Once you realize that it happens, then you can grow with the P2 or P3.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, P2 or P1. That is priority 1.
There's a place for all. Wonderful. I think we discussed a lot of interesting parts, starting with alignment of business strategy, how you align with your company, being a dynamic leader, about the ecosystem, about other CIOs. But I'll just summarize or ask you last 3. It's called a rapid fire kind of a thing. If you had to give 2 advice to a fellow CIO, a piece of couple of advices to a solution provider, who gives you, and the last to the ecosystem generally. What help do you want from the ecosystem? So these are my 3 questions, and that will be the end where I'll leave you to your rest of the job today.
Sure. See, I mean, for my fellow colleagues, I would say, please try to understand the strategy of the organization. And when I say a strategy, then it's not only your managing director, but the entire stakeholders, the investors, what they want. To try to understand that. There may not be a right, the correct channel to get that information, but you have to find that channel and get that information. And accordingly, you have to see the trend also, digital trend, and then go for the right systems there. Okay, but don't forget to assess the risk, because systems are easy, but your risk assessment and control on that is equally important. Because unless and until you do that, it's not a complete project, or you won't be successful, simply. So 2 factors. One is the right strategy from the business, and second is the risk associated. Yes. If you take care of that, the middle part, execution, is easy, definitely easy. Because a visionary leader or maybe CIO, they have to think on these 2 things. First of all, execution can be done by any middle management person, or it's your vendor who can take an active part into it and do that for you. So that won't be a big challenge. But yeah, the vision on these 2 areas from the leader is important. So I think that was one. The other you asked, can you just recall?
To the solution providers or your vendors, what kind of?
The vendors, yes. See, vendors, I mean, I would say I think a lot of vendors I have seen impact. So irrespective of business, they try to build the relations, which is wonderful thing actually, because vendors, the IT leaders, they including them. I mean, the entire ecosystem is there.
Yes.
Without the solution providers, the IT leaders cannot move, or without IT leaders, the solution providers cannot implement their solutions. So I would say solution providers, instead of looking at the business as an area, they should believe in their product first. They should have 100% confidence on their product, and they should be happy if it is implemented, and see a growth tool for XYZ organization. So they can take that as an example and then sell to the different companies. So they should believe in their own product first of all, and the growth, the belief, the confidence on that product has to be passed on to the IT leaders so that they can buy that. And continuously meeting people, sharing the knowledge, which is the core area from solution providers, because that makes your product or the area as an awareness, and people think of it.
Wonderful. So I'll modify the third question, since you included the vendors into the ecosystem itself. So tell me, what is a gap in the ecosystem, that one gap that you wish could be covered up by the end of the next 1 year? It would make your life further simpler or easier.
Yeah. So as I said, I think ecosystem, it has elements, and we discussed on 2 critical elements. So there are other different elements also that is part of the entire ecosystem. But I would say making awareness of the product they belong to, and continuous enhancement into that product, associated to the right product manufacturing company, and specialize into that, could be the way actually to sustain for any solution provider. So when I say this, say for example, now SAP is coming with a solution like a B1 solution for chemical industry. So what is that? It's a simple system actually, which is there for not only chemical company, it is applicable to pharma, it is auto ancillary, everything. The system is same. It's not a different system actually. But how they make an awareness actually. So the chemical industry people, they look at that system like, okay, this is the system made for us. With only these 3 words.
This is called retargeting.
Impact.
It's called retargeting.
Exactly. Retargeting with some impactful words and all. So that awareness solution providers should make. And it's not only awareness, but they should also have a confidence like, this product is really made for this, and it will help the customers into this area. It will give the good results, and similarly, if customer grows, ultimately vendor grows.
Great. That was an amazing wrap of this session, I think. Thank you so much, Ajay, for this entire episode. I think it was very synchronous right from the first thing that you answered till the last one. So it shows a lot of consistency and stability in the way you have been successful. So many congratulations to you for this place over here. And thank you so much. And I feel good that we are playing a little role in awareness, you just mentioned. So the idea is to get better solutions here, to get the CIOs here. It's a marketplace of knowledge. I hope we're able to build that with this effort.
Absolutely. Thanks for this opportunity, first of all. Because I think unless until you share your thoughts, and those thoughts should, be transferred or broadcasted to the people.
Yes.
And you listen to the other people also. That give and take will also, beneficial for everyone. So thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. So have a great evening, and I hope our viewers have a great hearing.